Have you worked with anybody well-known? Any like famous clients?
I have, actually.
All right, so definitely appreciate you sitting down with me, Lynn. I'd like to talk about how you actually sell custom homes and then how this really works behind the scenes. But before we get started on that, I want to ask you a couple questions I think will be interesting.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. So tell me, what's the biggest home you've ever been a part of actually selling?
Oh gosh, I would say we were probably 15,000 square feet, home. And that one came in in congruence, it goes to probably the most expensive home as well. So
Right.
not including the lot, it was also about $15 million. So it was on about a 4.5 acre lot. So
Right.
it was a lot of fun. For that one, we actually brought in it was here in Dallas, but they wanted a Colorado style. So we brought in an architect actually from Colorado that did this, and it's really turned out fantastic.
Right.
It's a lot of fun to do. Client loves it.
Right. And that's a great point too, just like you said, right? So it's only, you're buying the house and also you're paying for a lot. That's something that custom homes requires too, right? Is that pretty common?
It is. It's very common, yes, because usually when you do a custom home, there's no cookie cutters involved.
Right.
It's really what the client wants.
Right.
And a lot of it is up to the architect. I can build anything, from contemporary to old world style, but again, part of it is selecting the right architect. And I always walk the clients through, what architect not only suits their needs from a construction standpoint, but also from a personality, because it's very important.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. And we talked about super expensive, 15 million. So that's definitely a pricey home, right?
It is. I would say our typical homes are, we're out here in the preserve right now with the fields, and these homes start at 3.5 million. They'll go up into the, well into the 20 millions. It depends on which section they're building in, and the preserve, which of course is the high-end area of the fields. It's a gated, guarded community, and they're all custom homes.
Right.
So there's no cookie cutters in there at all.
Right. No, great point for sure. So let me ask you a question I think a lot of viewers will want to know. Have you worked with anybody well-known? Any like famous clients?
I have, actually, from head coaches, the Cowboys that were in our development, two of them. Head coach of the Dallas Stars is there. Defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. So yeah, so it's been it's always kind of fun.
Right, and a whole bunch of other people you probably can't talk about.
Some
people have MDAs.
Some
right?
are in cybersecurity for the government. Interesting stories, but yes, I want to be a breathing tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Right. We all want to be here around. So let me ask you a question. What's the craziest request you've ever got from a buyer?
You know what? It's funny when you say crazy what it is, and so. You try not to, you don't really judge,
Sure.
what the craziest request is, but some people will have it that they want a room for their pets, their dogs. They
Right.
want to set up a room that they can have a dog, and they want a secret door to it so you can't find it unless you know where it is. So they're protecting their dogs sometimes more than their whole family,
right.
which is kind of fun.
Right.
But that's a great part about. This business is the fact that there are all these requests, and it's always interesting when you're doing these things. So it's just fun to do. So I don't ever see them as crazy. I think this is what they want.
Right.
And so people come, I always kind of laugh with them when people tell me, well, we need this. Well, when you're at $4 million, $5 million, $15 million homes, you really don't need anything. You want them, and they deserve them. They've worked hard for this,
Sure.
and that's always fun. But I do remind them, these are wants and not needs that we have. So there's no such thing as really a crazy request. It's what they want to have.
Right. Not sure you really need a room for your pet, just like you said.
Exactly.
You definitely want it, and you've done well to deserve it.
The pet may disagree, but yes.
Right. I mean, it's probably an amazing room. So what's one feature people think they need, but the real must-have is something a little bit different?
I think the real thing that a lot of people want is a showpiece home. Mm-hmm. They want to be able to show it to their friends when they come over and, ta-da, here it is, and we can do that. I think really what, people need, and we get around to it, is you want that house livable. You want to make memories in that house.
Right.
You want to be so it's comfortable when those people are there, not a museum-like atmosphere that you feel cold and you admire, but you don't feel like you're ingratiated into the home itself.
Right. And I would imagine a lot of people ask that question of, hey, when people walk through the front door, I want them to kind of have that wow effect. Is that what you hear a lot
They
of?
do. They want a wow effect. I've got a client right now I'm building for that he wanted the grand staircase, coming down. We're under construction with it now with, 2 entrances, from the top coming down.
Right.
More of a Hollywood look, which
Right.
is great, and it is. It's very impressive. But we made that home very livable.
Okay, right. I think that's a great point you bring up, the balance between like when people walk in and visit, it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. However, when people are not visiting, you can actually use it. It's functional.
It's where you're going to make your memories,
Right.
and it's not. You don't want to live in the Smithsonian. You want to live in your warm and cozy environment.
Right, unless you're once who cleans 2 staircases. That's a completely different story. So, all right. So for the people that don't know, can you just tell us a little bit about what you do, what your company does, and who you really work for?
Absolutely. Well, I'm vice president of Starside Custom Builders,
Yep.
and we're a custom builder. We've been a developer as well, and of Normandy Estates in Plano, and we have been blessed to be chosen to be one of the 10 builders in the preserve out here at the Fields. I think we bring part of our expertise in development, and of course our all the builders out here are great. They really are. They chose 10 great builders, and we've got we bought 30 lots, and nobody had more lots than we did, to start with. So we're invested in that, and we not only that, as we're sitting in it, we built our office out here, which we just moved into. It's a model, but I would sell it tomorrow if somebody comes in, and
Right.
I'd go to the next one. It's a gorgeous house, as we'll see, but
Right.
5,700 square feet, $4.5 million. But I think the key is though, a lot of people can build houses. A lot of people put the bricks and move stones around, whatever it might be. But really, the key is how do we view ourselves and differentiate ourselves from everyone else? And who do we compete with? And the honest answer is we compete with ourselves. We try to set a bar that's very high, and we're always competing with ourselves. And one thing we always remind each other within Starside is that, yes, we build homes year after year, decade, but the key is the people we build homes for, it's usually not their first rodeo at this price point. But they also only do a few maybe in their lifetime. So that comes, far in between. So, and most people's houses are their number one financial investment. And so we're blessed that we are entrusted with that financial investment that they have. But again, more importantly, it's the personal. As I mentioned earlier, this is where they make their memories. So we always are cognizant of the fact that this is we're not just trading stocks here. We're trading the collateral of their emotions and what they want. And we really feel that we're also entitled or blessed to get behind the curtain and watch the people as they go through a build process. And you'll see all the fronts and the masks come off. You'll see when people are selecting, by the time they're at the 5th bedroom, selecting the hardware on their drawers, it can be a little trying, but when it's over, it all gels back together. So, we feel really honored that we are a part of that.
Right. No, I think you bring up a great point for sure, that this is a great experience, but also it's a very stressful experience. And you can just, like you said, that
it does. It takes a while to build a home. There's a lot of meetings, and it's not just let's just do this. And frankly, it's not for the faint of heart. Some people just want to build. I know what I like. I see it, and we do it. But we do a lot of hand holding here at Starside. A lot of people come in, they want to build their house, but they're very afraid. They go, oh, I can't see in the 3-dimensional aspect, which is most people can't.
Right.
And so when I say we start with the architect, just make a list of what you want and then give the feel. You don't have to be a designer. I try to be with the people on their missions with the architect, make sure we all stay on the same page and shepherd them to the road. But it should be a fun occasion. If you're not looking forward to it, you shouldn't do it. You should buy a spec home.
Right. No, I think that's a great point. I think it's just like you said, but that's where you guys kind of stand out, where you guys
because
really handhold, like you said. That's
we do a lot of hand holding and always in touch with the emotion of what they're going through as well, because there are fears and there's wants and there's desires, all combined. So honestly, we recognize our places. We've been given a place of honor. They've entrusted us with this, and we are I'm very humble about that.
Right. What's the time frame look like? Like how long does it take? I know these are custom and take a little bit longer. So after lot selection, then we go to architectural to get what we want, and then how's that looking for time?
It's really dependent on the size of the house. Out here in the preserve, if you're building a 5,000 square foot house, let's just take that for a number.
Sure.
You're really looking at if you bought the lot today, before you'd be having those moving trucks come, you'd be at a 2-year process.
Okay.
You start with the architects. The architect can take 3 to 6 months, and it depends a lot on how many renditions he's doing, with the client, how far they're going back and forth. But then you have to go into, then we price the house out,
right.
For them. Even though out here we're doing a cost plus, which is very transparent,
right.
We want them to have a feel of the genre, what the price is going to be.
Yeah, right.
That takes about a month as we go to our subcontractors and do that.
Right.
But then there's engineering, which is about a month, and then there's permitting, which could be a month. So that's before we start, the fun part of the construction. But all in, you could be talking a year, and again, the bigger the house, the longer it takes.
Right. Yeah. But you guys have a spec, so you can just come by the spec.
I've
You're
got-
more than happy to move out.
I've got this spec today. I've got another one next month in March. It'll be 5,100 square feet.
Okay.
3.8 million. So yes, because everyone's different.
Correct.
And we're doing different styles.
Right. So basically, whatever someone can come up with, they can design it.
That's exactly right. If they want it specific, we can do this.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, sir?
Well, I think it's funny because we were kind of chatting earlier, Jeremy, when you said, what is the biggest complaint people have after they've done a build-to-suit, and type thing is, and it's I always say there's no such thing as a perfect house. So people will build this, build a house, say, oh, I wish I had made this utility room, 2 feet wider. But now the great part is with technology is that now there is a system that this house can now be laid out. It's in a warehouse setting, and you can walk through your house. So you can feel the size of the rooms, which is so much better than on a sheet of paper, 2-dimensional, or even a design that the architect will do in 3D for you. So the technology is really becoming helpful to build-to-suit clients. Makes it much more easy for them to visualize.
No, that's really amazing technology, just like you said. So people can see it like, I told you. I'm probably a lot of discussions between whoever's purchasing the house too, where you're kind of standing in the background saying, I told you we should have made it a little bit different. So no, that's really good.
And then you go into the selections, which is, it's we've had an interior designer. She does a fantastic job at guiding them through tile selection, countertop, lighting, plumbing fixtures. So there's a lot of choices to be made. Right. And usually we find that, in a relationship, it's, I think, prototypical. I'll see the husband at the beginning when he writes his initial check, and the end when it's over, and the wife's doing everything in between, picking things out. Now that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but and it's usually she's the one that likes to do the project.
Right. I think that's what we all kind of seem like. Whatever you like, that's fine. I'll take it. Husbands can used to live with whatever kind of comes out of it.
For those of us who've been married, happy wife, happy life. So there we
just agree either way you don't like it or not. So.
That's right.
Yeah, and then I guess do people really know what they want for finishes, or is it really kind of you guys offer, hey, this is kind of the new trending thing, or is it?
That's a great question, and we have both. I'll have some people come in with a 3-ring binder, room by room, and they can just have pictures torn out saying, we love the look of this, we want to try to emulate this type of thing. Other people come in tabula rasa, blank tablet, and say, help me walk me through this, and again, that's when we take the time to get to know their personalities, what they want, what they're looking for, and then they have the selection. So yes, both comes into effect.
I like the client with a binder, right?
You know what? The more information people have, it's easier to build rather than I don't know, type thing. But that's perfectly fine.
Right. Well, you guys are experts at that, so
we are.
I think the more time you spend with someone, the more you get to know them and realize, like, okay, this is going to really fit their lifestyle.
I'm going through a build-to-suit right now. I think he's changed the tile out 4 times. Before picking it, and so. Because their feelings about it are changing, and that's fine. That's what we do. That's what a custom builder does. There is no cookie cutter.
Right. All right, sir. Let's go take a look at the house. Kind of show me around what makes sense, what makes this house special, and then
absolutely. Let's
go take a look.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so just tell me about this entrance.
Okay, fantastic. Well, first of all, welcome to this is our model and our office, although I'd be happy to sell this at, at any given time.
Trying to move out.
We're in the preserve, of course, and
Right.
and we've dedicated ourselves to building our presence here, 100%.
Right.
So as we come into this one, we also did this, we wanted more of a Rocky Mountain feel. And so we brought in here, this is an open floor plan, 32 feet, soaring ceilings, natural stone on the side, wood, here to give that impressive look when you come in with an abundance of natural light.
Right.
As you look above, you can see all the light that's come in, which is it's impressive and it's well lit, and people do ooh and ah when they do
Yeah,
come
for
through
sure. I
this
mean,
zone.
this is definitely a grand entrance for you.
It is,
It's
and
a wow effect.
here is the staircase, which is they're floating stairs, which are more expensive, but
Right.
they're beautiful. They're lit, underneath, so when people walk up, you can see that, especially at night.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, they must look amazing at night.
It looks
for sure.
fantastic at night, even like from the outside when
Right.
people come in.
Yep.
A little sitting area up here. It might be conducive to putting a fountain up there. Again,
Right.
all personal taste
Correct.
that people have.
But lots of variety. You could change it around a little bit. Nice
Change
space
it
to work
around.
with.
So, then you get the senses coming in. You've got, the light. If you wanted water, you could put, of course, with fireplace, you've got all the elements. So as we walk, continue walking down, this is the dining room, which we really love the way this feels. First of all, notice the wallpaper here, which is, it just is beautiful, and it's coming back, and it looks great. But we don't have a dining room that's sequestered, that people are in a room. They want to have an open plan. Yet we have this tucked away here. It's large, as you can see. You can seat up, 15 people or so.
Right.
But you still have that privacy here while still being in an open floor plan.
Correct. No, yeah, I really like you're saying. It still has that open concept.
It
but
does.
It's a little bit private enough that it's not
Yeah.
quite all of them.
And now you can get a better feel of the white oak flooring that we've done in here, which again contributes to the stone and the natural wood. And perhaps you can see a little bit better of the light up that way as well.
Yeah, and definitely all goes well together. Just like you said, I mean, wallpaper is coming back. That's the thing. We grew up as kids. It was everywhere, but we kind of went away for a while. Now it's back.
That's why I save my wide ties and my bell bottoms. No, not those. My wife threw those
we
away.
might be back there, sir. You never know. A little bit about the kitchen.
Well, the kitchen obviously is always the heartbeat of any home. This is where people gather, and you can see that we have the bar stools, and by the way, there's cabinets underneath for lots of storage in this house. But you can see the beautiful quartzite that we picked in here, and also in the backsplash, we actually did a leather granite back here. But the kitchen features, as you would expect, Sub-Zero, wolf range. Obviously a high-end dishwasher, and the Wolf double ovens over here. So this makes it not only a showpiece but very functional.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. So my wife has a lot of complaints when we go places, a lot of high-end homes. Like, this is a very useful setup. It's not crazy that the refrigerator is over here and the stove is over here and the sink is over here. Like, I like how you guys really thought about the person using the kitchen.
Yeah, and it's set up. And the little hidden secret right now, though, is behind us here, and we'll get back there, is our butler pantry, which features a second dishwasher and a lot of prep space. And if you want to keep the dirty dishes back there while your guests are out here, they can disappear rather.
Tell the kids to put the dishes back there.
Boy, you've got better control of your kids than I do, but thank you. That'd be awesome.
All right, so tell me a little bit about this area.
Well, we set this up as a bar area, as you can see, right off the kitchen as well.
Right.
We've got a full, wine cooler here. So as I'm also a sommelier from the past, so
talk about that. Yeah.
Yes, golf, wine, and travel are my passions. 2 of the 3 I'm good at. So let's not go play golf. But there we go. But this is the entrance as we go back into the butler pantry. We're back in the butler pantry, and this is where obviously the work happens. Again, we did a leather granite here. We do have the dishwasher. Again, a trash here. A lot of storage spaces back here. Open shelving there and above. And this just makes it really nice to have your coffee back here without any equipment out on the counters out there. One thing you might notice too, this looks like a wallpaper, but if you touch it, that's a tile.
Oh, wow.
And it's just very stylish and really makes this area pop. The details that we've done here, you can see all the doors in the house are very designer type.
Right, yeah, they're not
And this room right here, you don't need to see it. It's a huge closet right now.
Oh, wow.
And there's one above it. And actually, this is a future elevator. If someone wants an elevator,
Okay.
so we've already dropped the floor here 12 inches, so the elevator can go in here
Oh, nice.
if they want to put it in. And
Right.
an elevator is about $40,000 for the
Right.
mechanics of it to put
Correct.
in. This would just go into our 3-car garage.
Okay.
One of them's tandem in this particular
Right.
home, but very well done as well.
Right. And talk to me about the texture on the walls.
This is yes. It's funny because this texture, here in Texas we do a Texas drag is what they call it.
Correct.
Now this is very subtle, and if you go back to, and I don't know why I remember this year, but 2002, it was the same style, but then they had like icing, and it looked like the icing on top of a cake, very sticking out.
Correct.
And over the years, it's got more and more subtle.
Yep.
And so that's what
Okay.
and that's what
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
about
yeah.
too. And you notice we do it on the ceiling
Yep.
as well, and it's again, everything is just done.
And I've
first
definitely
class.
showed some houses that still retain that icing. For sure. All right, so tell me about the living room.
Here we are, and again, next to the kitchen, most families are going to spend their time right here. And so this is where it needs to be a warm environment and a feel that family can gather. This is where most of the memories are going to be made, actually. So we started off, we thought, with a beautiful mantelpiece, a Napoleon fireplace that is right here, very stylish, of course. So from the living room, of course, we want to transition right over to the outside that we have here. And the sliding glass doors, which go all the way back, which just open up very nicely.
Right.
And again, you get the feel of the outdoor living that we have. Now here we have put in on the ceiling, we put in heaters, which
nice.
last week when we were at 6 degrees sounded
Right.
very nice.
Right.
But usually for Texas in the summertime, we actually have misters on this house as well.
Okay.
So you can sit out here and enjoy our 110 Dallas heat while you're here.
Right.
All the houses we do will have phantom screens that come down, which keeps the flying, insects out,
Mosquitoes.
and as well as, and it does when it's cold, it kind of keeps the heat in as well.
Correct. Right. Yeah, that's absolutely. I tell that a lot to my clients. Right. In Texas, there's not a lot of time you can really sit on the porch, but this makes it usable.
With the
almost all year
misters, it
round.
really
Yeah.
makes it kind of nice.
Especially the heat too. So that's
Yes.
really good.
And so there we go.
Right. All right. So the master.
This is the master, and we did this master not huge, like over, but most people are now saying we want to be able to have a cozier master,
Right.
Room for a sitting area.
Right.
And of course, we're right adjacent to the outside, so you have a lot of natural lights. We have electric shades that are, in here, so you can sleep in complete darkness if you
Right,
like as
right.
well. But I think if you see the timbers at the top, that adds to the warmth. The size of it does. The higher ceilings, helps keep it obviously looking very comfortable, yet it's impressive when you walk in.
Yeah,
here.
I definitely agree with that. And also, before we talked about, it's livable, right?
It's
not
livable.
so large that it just feels awkward and you're kind of struggling. What do we put in here? What do we put here? What do we put here?
Exactly.
I think that's
So it's a great retreat to
Correct.
come back to. And I think that's what most couples want to have, to be able to get away from it. It's their own personal hideaway from the world.
Right.
And the kids. And they can get away and shut the door and call it a night. Let's take a look at the master bath. Now this master bath we think is spectacular again. I don't know if you can see the wallpaper up there, but it's beautiful. This has got a shower without a door. It's big enough you can just walk in.
Right.
Obviously you have the tub here that everybody wants, although I'm pretty convinced that 95% of the people just show their friends the tub, they don't use it, but there are those 5% that actually like to use the tub.
Right.
Behind this is the vanity, so that's where she'll put on her makeup and do her thing, right there. But even the sinks, as you can see, they don't have the pop-ups anymore. They're just kind of stylishly down. The lighting is underlit, right there as well. So we're in our closet, and we actually designed this ourselves. All the layout of it and everything that's in here. There's a lot of room. There's tall areas. Now, in this particular home, we put the utility room upstairs, thinking will be a family. Yet for the residents of the master, the parents, we actually put in a washer-dryer combination, so they can have their own right here, and the kids can then be trained to do their own, just like they would take the dishes back. Good luck.
I don't know about that, sir.
But there's a lot of room here. It's the details that we put in where people can hang things, or even the racks that we put down there. What she's going to wear the next day or hang out there. If you look at that, you may not be able to see the ceiling, but that's also a wallpaper. It looks like a plaster.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And of course, the island with the quartzite top, very functional. Lots of room for shoes, hanging clothes, whatever it might be.
Right. Also, the cabinet with the glass in the front to store the most important.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, this is really a nice.
And the most important line that we'll always hear that the wife says every single time, no matter the size of the closet, honey, where's your closet?
Right. There's a small spot in the back over here.
There you go. Okay, so Jeremy, we just got to the top of the stairs up here. And you can see as we walked up the stairs, there's a wide stairway, lots of natural light, wide open up here. You can see again this spectacular wall back here with the sconces, but again with this fantastic wallpaper. So what we have up here, we have actually 3 bedrooms that are en suite, and we do have 1 powder room as well, media room, a workout room, and one of the bedrooms is a junior master. So you're really going to tell who's your favorite child when you pick them out and put them in there, which is very spectacular that we have up here. So, and that's really our house that we have here, 5,700 square feet of beauty and comfort, and it's available today.
Right, absolutely. You're more than happy to move out, right? So
anytime.
If you really like this house, definitely stop by. He's more than happy to move out.
Stop by, call Jeremy, and then we can make this happen.
All right, so I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.